name is Maya, and welcome to my channel, Cranley Place, where I'm posting content on scarf style, knot tutorials, and more. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to be notified of new videos, which I'm publishing weekly. Seriously, at some point, the Women's Spring-Summer 2022 scarf collection from Hermès will have to stabilize, but in the meantime, it's very exciting to see so many new options. Today's video is a bit of a mix where I'll look at some of these new designs as well as some interesting alternate formats that are now available. Hermès fans will recognize this design, which was introduced last season as a 90cm silk twill and is still available on many Hermès websites. L'Imagerie d'Épinal was originally a printing house founded in 1796. From the 18th century through the early 20th, it played a major role in spreading popular knowledge through its illustrations of political and historical events, religious culture, and children's education. With photography still in its infancy, l'Imagerie d'Épinal were simultaneously publishers, printers, booksellers, advertising agency, and game designers, employing craftsmen, wood engravers, high-quality illuminators, cartoonists, and caricaturists. They distributed their production through a network of shops and hawkers from village to village. It really was the first mass media, quote-unquote, through images. Gianpaolo's theatrical design was inspired by l'Imagerie d'Épinal's many engravings, with a combination of geometric patterns characteristic of his aesthetic, created with stamps. This Twilly is available in at least 6 colorways. Which ones would you collect? This too is based on a new 90cm silk twill design within the Spring-Summer 2022 collection, which I have yet to glimpse here on the US website, but did see on the Canadian website. I'm looking at you, French Style and Human Rights for All 09. Isola di Primavera, translating to Spring Island, is a dreamy landscape design by Matthieu Cossé, a Parisian artist who is relatively new to the house of Hermès. In fact, the Rive Gauche boutique on the Rue de Sèvres, when it reopened, actually features a giant fresco by Cossé titled L'Odyssée d'Hermès, which is reminiscent of this look and feel. This Twilly looks to be available in at least 6 colorways, but as much as I love Twillies, I do want to see the 90cm silk twill scarf, since the 2 colorways that I did see had lovely contrast hems. Caty Latham is another longtime designer for Hermès, with her first design with the house, Les Cles, or the Keys, coming out in 1965. Les Cles is one of the top-selling Hermès scarves of all times, and one of the most counterfeited as well. As a side note, I do have a video on spotting fake Hermès silk twill scarves, which you should check out if you haven't seen it. This Twilly is based on that iconic design, which featured 47 authentic keys as a tribute to the goldsmiths who worked on these gorgeous objets, such as the key that opened the doors of Notre Dame, or the golden key that the Lords of the Council of State presented to the governor of the Low Countries under the name of Charles III. Les Cles was one of the early scarves in my collection, and I've always been charmed by the silk cords and tassels that mimic the curves of the keys. Les Cles à Pois is available in at least 3 colorways, and while I love the blue one, I have to pass since I arguably have an overabundance of blue in my collection. Here's a Twilly version of a 70cm silk twill scarf introduced this season by Pierre. If you haven't seen the new design, it's a play on flying carpets, with the silk scarves soaring on adventures with their lady passengers aboard. This Twilly is available in at least 5 colorways, and what intrigued me most is that some of the palettes are different than the 70cm options that I've seen, so I'm curious to see if we'll get those other colorways in the larger format here in the US. This is a Twilly version of the 70cm silk twill scarf of the same name available this season. It's a mashup of two Hermès scarf designs with Ex-Libris on Les Parisiennes. The Ex-Libris design is by Hugo Grygkar, having first been issued in 1946, and Les Parisiennes is from the 2012 season by Kiraz. When I last looked at the US website, they only had one color in stock, but I have seen it in other regions in at least two other colorways. I also found a studded version of it on the Chinese Hermès website, which made me wonder whether it would work with a Twilly scarf ring. I'm not quite sure how those studs would pass through, but if you've seen one, let me know in the comments. This is based on a classic design of the same name by Francoise de la Perriere, first issued in 1965 and reissued multiple times since. With its vintage carriage motif, likely inspired by examples conserved in the Émile Hermès collection, it's a charming redux of this iconic design, available in at least 5 colorways. I admittedly have a soft spot for this design, as it too was one of the early ones in my collection. This one is based on a design first issued in 1972 and inspired by antique pieces belonging to the Émile Hermès collection. Like Cles, this is another one of the house's most copied designs as well. At any rate, Cliquetis translates roughly to clatter. It's a fan-shaped composition of hunting knives, which were once engraved with symbols such as horns, anchors, suns, or shelves that were used to identify the different crews, and hung from cavalrymen's belts with snap hooks decorated with cords and tassels. In the bottom right corner, you can see the design's famous sabre tache, which was a flat satchel or pouch on long straps attached to the belt, also worn by cavalrymen and horse artillery officers to carry essentials and sometimes food. This 90cm silk twill scarf is available in at least 7 colorways. It's also available as a Twilly, which is sold out on the US website, but I've seen that in other regions in at least 3 colorways. Christiane Vauzelles is another longtime Hermès artist who started collaborating with French illustrator and fellow Hermès artist Robert Dumas, starting in 1958. I have a video on big cat animal-themed Hermès designs, mainly from Dumas, which you may want to check out as well if you haven't seen it. So you may have already seen the 140cm cashmere shawl and silk twill muffler of the same name, Les Leopards, also available this season. And here's a fun fact: Les Leopards, as a design, was originally intended as a beach towel. Here is a Twill Up. If you're not familiar, these measure about 4.2 inches by 33.5 inches, making them over twice as wide as a Twilly and 1.5 inches longer. I don't have any Twill Ups yet, but I would imagine styling them very similar to Twillys, given the length. Incidentally, this design is also available as a bandana Twilly, so if you love this design, there are plenty of format options available this season. This design by Ugo Bienvenu was first introduced last season as a double-faced scarf. Here in the US, I have to say it was a rare occurrence on the website, and in fact, some of the double-faced designs never even made it to the US online store, which was a real shame for anyone not geographically close to one of their boutiques. But anyways, here they've now made this design available in the Twill Up format, which is adorable with these polka dots on the other side. Like the prior Twill Up, this is also available as a Twilly in some regions. I'm personally rooting to see this on the US website here, because there are so many pretty colorways. So there you have it, more of the Spring-Summer 2022 scarves from Hermès. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think in the comments. In future episodes, I'll share other scarf reviews, knot tutorials, and more, so be sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time!